Hello, and welcome back to Chroma Endless 2. Last episode was a very big day. We got quite a lot done. We made an andesite generator. We made the boiler, the mixer, the press. We got our mechanical crafters up and running. And we even got this mechanical drill back here that is drilling up copper ore. Well, kind of. It's almost copper ore. But in order to get the actual copper and tin and silver out of this, we need this guy. This is a huge multi-block that we need to craft up in order to actually use these ores. So today is probably going to be another big episode, because not only do we need that big multi-block, we actually need a couple more of these drills, because there are 5 different types of ores we can get out of this. Not only that, but we can get some other things like glowstone, quartz, emerald, diamonds, and redstone and coal automatically. So yeah, we probably want a couple of these drills too. But before we do any of that, I'd say we should probably try and get this sieving factory up and running. So we're gonna need a couple different things for this. Probably the easier things to do are to get these items here, and all of these blocks that it shows in the quest book are going to be used to build the multi-block. So we're going to go ahead and grab all of these here. Most of these things we've already been crafting or have the ability to craft, and it's looking like we're going to have to do a solid amount of mining too, because I do not have that much copper or zinc, and we need almost 2 stacks of brass for this. So let's get mining. Okay, I think we're getting a good amount of everything here. I found a solid amount of copper. That should definitely be enough. Zinc is a little harder to find though. Definitely doesn't come as plentiful as copper does. Now, if you're wondering, why don't I just make an enchanting table and get Fortune 3 on it? That would help so much. I would be there already. That's because this is the recipe for the enchanting table. I mean, I could... Well, either way, I think I actually do have enough zinc, since we need 2 stacks of brass. 1 stack and 1 stack of copper should get us 2 stacks of brass. So let's take these back and cook them up. Now let me see what the deal is with this enchanting table while we're waiting. Grave dust. Grave dust is a mob drop that we get sometimes, on occasion. Looks like we need a little bit more though, so I'll have to run around, try to kill some guys real quick. I think we'll need 12 pieces total to do the enchanting table. Okay, I lied. It actually turns out you need 8 more, so 20 pieces total. Oh, ow. Now with enough grave dust, we'll take these guys and surround 2 diamonds in that. That will get us the impregnated diamond. Then we need 2 of these process obsidian blocks. These are made by smelting obsidian with iron, which is just a block of obsidian with iron nuggets. We need enough to make 2 blocks of this. So we'll go ahead and smelt these up when my furnaces are free. And then last but not least for this, we need a pedestal. This is made with soul slate, which is made by burning deep slate into soul soil. Sweet, and that should be everything we need for the enchanting table. Let's craft this guy up. And I was able to find a bunch of bookshelves from all the looting we've done. So no manually crafting all those books for us. Now, I did at one point have a lot of levels, but they seem to have disappeared. Probably because I died. So we may have to hold off on getting that Fortune 3 for a minute. But why don't we give it something for the meantime? I think to handle all this smelting we have to do, we need a bigger smelting setup. Now, I'm thinking if I put this guy in the ground here. I'm gonna get a little water wheel to get into that guy there. And then let's get some water flowing to it. Make sure it's blowing the right way. Yep, there we go. We can cover this back up. And then I also want a depot 1 block away from this. Then all that's left is to go find a bucket of lava. We're going to take our lava and throw it right here in front of the fan. Now whatever items we throw onto this depot are going to get smelted up. Granted, it might be a little slow, because we only have the one fan running. The speed that the fan is running at doesn't actually affect how fast these get smelted up. So this should be not only faster than a furnace, but it will save us on a lot of coal too. Yeah, there we go. There's a full stack right there, already done. Okay, we are moving right along. I've got 2 stacks of brass here, and we're going to turn all of this into brass casings. That is a lot of logs. Hold on. We're going to need more of these guys too. I just know it. So we need 115 brass casings for the multi-block itself, and then the rest are going to be used to craft like the mechanical arms, and then all of these blocks here, the actual controllers. So we'll definitely need a little more brass. Then we also need 4.5 stacks of copper plates just for the fluid tanks alone. That's not counting the spout. So we are just pressing away on these plates over here to finish out the blocks that we need for this. We need 2 mechanical arms. Now we need to get all of the input, output, and the controller block, which means we need probably a lot more brass than I do have right now because I'm running out already. Most of these are the same. They're just surrounded in brass casings. They take a precision mechanism. The item input and outputs take a item vault. And if you need to, you can actually change which way it's facing just by throwing it in your crafting table. The stress input and output boxes both take these rotation speed controllers, which take 4 blocks of brass. So I'm kind of waiting on these to craft up. Okay, this should take care of that now. 2 rotation speed controllers, and then the input stress box and the output. And then all we're missing now is the controller. This takes a pretty big recipe sequence. We need to grab one of these content observers. Okay, I believe I have everything now to get this thing crafted up. I'm not going to set up a whole assembly line just for this because we're only going to need it the one time. So we're going to toss this guy down. Then we're going to apply a brass casing to it, and then an electron tube. Then it needs to get pressed. Then the precision mechanism and another brass casing, and then one more press. And that should complete round 1. We need to do this 2 more times. Boom, boom, 1 more press. And there we go, we get the sieving factory controller. That takes care of all of the blocks that we need to set this thing up. We are going to need probably a better source of stress generation because I'm not sure how much this thing can handle. But why don't we build this up and see what we can do with it. I'll probably just put it right here for now. And we actually probably want to build this within chunk borders. I'm not sure if this applies, but usually multi-blocks need to be built within chunk borders so that they don't glitch and break. So now we just need to get this thing built up. We can look in the uses for this to see the big structure we need to build. We can click on these little arrows to see each floor. I'm just going to get building away until we have everything in place. And we actually ended up needing 2 input stress boxes instead of an input and an output. All right, first layer all built out. Oh wow, I was wrong actually. We need 2 input boxes and an output. Okay. Whoops. Okay, now that should be good. And perfect. That should be the factory all up and running. Well, not running. We need to give it some stress. So I'm curious to see what it takes to get this thing up and running. So I've got myself a couple of water wheels here we're going to toss down just to get it started. All right, let's see what this gives us, if anything. Okay, so it's not overstressed. It does say it's working. Let me see if we can throw some items in here and get it working. Now it does say it requires some water, so I'm wondering if we need to put that into the fluid tank to get it to work. Let me just try manually putting this in for right now. So if you put it in the drain here, it should go into the tank. And then each recipe requires 100 or 500 millibuckets of water. So 1 bucket should be able to handle 2. And it does say it needs 64 stress to run. So we may have to speed it up. That could be the reason why it's not working. All right, here we go. Now it's taking 128 stress units. And still nothing. Okay. Do both of these need to get power, maybe? Let's give this a shot. Okay, no, still nothing. Let me do a little research. You know what? It would help if I put the items into the input spot instead of the output. Yeah, that would do it. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. We already got 2 crushed copper out of that. This is perfect. Okay, so it doesn't need a whole lot of stress to run. We do need to hook up some water to it though. Probably the best way to get some infinite water going is to grab a sink, and then I'll just hook this up so that we can extract the water from the sink and have it go into the machine. Brain's not working. There we go. Let's do that. Boom, boom. Pipe should be able to take it out of the sink and into... There we go. This is working great. And I think if we wanted to make it work faster, all we would need to do is speed up the stress that's going into it. But we are already getting plenty of copper coming out. All we really need to do is hook up our mining drill over here to transport the items over there. Oh, buddy. Oh, things are out of whack for a minute. We're having some crazy times out here. Long story short, I had this whole episode planned out. I was going to move up to that big village place we found the other day. We were going to make our base in there, and it was going to be nice and beautiful, but I ended up not liking it at all. So instead, we're here, building out a new little foundation for a new base. And it's not going to be anything crazy. There's not going to be any big builds going on. Right now, I'm just building out some nice big chunk aligned spaces for us to build our machines in. It may not be the prettiest thing in the world, but it's going to look clean. It's going to look nice, I think. Let me get some space laid out, and then we'll continue with what we were doing with the rest of this episode with the sifting machine. I do believe I'm getting somewhere here. I've flattened out this whole area quite a bit. I'm going to throw that there so we can identify what that's mining. All we need to do now is set up our sifting machine again. And we also need to set up a big steam engine. The steam engine is where we're going to be getting our create power from now on. This is going to be a big power generation source with way more power capabilities than the water wheel and the windmill. And I definitely do not already have everything to set that up because I definitely did not record a whole episode and decide I didn't like it. So let's set that up. I'm going to set up the sifting machine first again. Actually, you know what? Let's get the power first. To set up the steam engine, we need a couple of these blaze burners. We're going to put these down in a little square. Now you can make this in a 3x3 square, but I only have enough blaze burners to make a 2x2. Then we're going to take some tanks and place these on top. We can stack these up just like that. We then need to get on top of this thing and place the 4 steam engines down. On top of each one of these, we want to put a shaft down just like that so that it's a whole block above it. It should show you a little arrow and a ghost of where it's going to go. We want these to all be facing the same direction. You can also attach it to the side of this there. Perfect. Now we need to actually start powering this thing. We need to get some water to it first. So let's grab a sink here. And then all we need to do for this is throw down a mechanical pump and then a sink. Then we'll get some power to this pump once we get the steam engine running. Actually, it may need some water in it to start working anyway, so we will have to get some power to this mechanical pump. So let's just toss a water wheel down, and then this guy should very slowly start pumping some water in here. The last step is to fuel the blaze burners themselves. Blaze burners can take any burnable fuel, but we want to use lava buckets, just because it's the most renewable source of fuel for the blaze burners. So we'll need to head to the nether for this. And then we'll need to head down to the point in the nether where the giant lava lake is. So way down here is where we want to be. Oh yeah, perfect. And we can actually just set this up right on this little platform up here. We're going to use a hose pulley for this. We can just throw this. The hose pulley basically acts as a little pump. We're going to send this down into the lava lake and extract the lava from it. And I was wrong, actually, we do want this to be facing on the side that the pipe is. We want to attach a hand crank or any kind of power source to this to send the pump down into the lava lake. Let's see if I can get a good look at it going down there. Oh yeah, perfect. So we just want to send that guy right down there. Now we're going to use a mechanical pump to extract the lava from it. Then I've got a couple of these ender tanks that we're going to transport the lava from this ender tank to the one that's going to be on the steam engine. This mechanical pump will need a little bit of power, so I brought along a water wheel that we can just toss down, and then we can use some lava to actually power this, and it should start spinning. This should start pumping. We want to turn this so that the arrow is facing this way, and beautiful. We're getting some lava in here. We can see on the hose pulley itself that we have a bottomless supply of lava. That just means the lava lake is big enough so that it's considered basically infinite. And that's all we need to do for this to have an infinite lava supply. We do want to chunk load this. So whatever chunk that we're in right now with this hose pulley, we want to open up our map and then go to the section where we can claim chunks. Then we're going to left click here, and then somehow there's a button. You just have to shift left click it after you've claimed it. This is just going to keep this chunk loaded, so it will keep running while we're away from it. Now we can just head back to our steam engine. Now back home, we can take our other ender tank. We're going to place this on probably the side here. Then again, we're going to pump this out using a mechanical pump. This is going to go into a spout, and I want to move this one up actually, because the spout is going to go onto a depot, and then I'll probably try to steal the power from this to go up to that pump. Perfect, that works. The spout is going to spout lava onto these buckets, which will fill them up and turn them into lava buckets once it has enough lava in, of course. Now this is what we're going to use to power the blaze burners, but we need a way to get them from the depot into the blaze burners themselves. This is where this mechanical arm comes in, and we also need a brass funnel that's going into this depot. We'll see why here in a minute. We're going to shift right click on all of these blocks to select them with the mechanical arm, but we want to make sure that the blaze burners and this brass funnel are set to deposit, and then the depot is set to take items from. Now we can place this guy probably in the back. I don't know if I want to keep it out, so that should work there. And then this thing will also need a little bit of power, and perfect. It should go ahead and start grabbing the lava bucket. Probably very slowly right now. This water wheel is not going to be able to keep up, but it should take the lava bucket. Oh, it put it back on the depot. We don't want that. Let me put this away for a sec, because we want to set a filter on this brass funnel so that it only accepts empty buckets. That's why I got the bucket back in the depot, is because the mechanical arm just put the lava bucket right into this brass funnel instead of giving it to a blaze burner. So it shouldn't do that now. It should take the lava bucket and give it to the blaze burner, and then take the empty bucket and put it in the brass funnel. Phew, I feel like I'm talking a lot. Am I talking a lot? Okay, for some reason this is not working. I think the water needs to be going in faster. So let's see if we can't speed that up a little bit real quick. Oh, beautiful. It seems like speeding up the water input got this thing to start running. We can see the boiler is currently running at level 1. We would need to increase all of the components of this. The size can be upgraded to a 3x3, and I think the tank can be way bigger too. The water input can be way faster, as we can see on the little GUI menu there. Giving them blaze cakes might actually make it more heat, but we don't have access to that, I don't think, so we're not going to worry about that part. But now that we have it running, we can actually take this power and use it to speed up the water. Up at the top where the actual steam engines themselves are working, this is where our shafts are going to be outputting the power. Right now they're both rotating the same way, so we actually want to, whoops, wrong move. We actually want to rotate these around, which we can do by looking at this little icon right here and selecting counterclockwise. There we go. Now they are spinning different directions, and we can attach a cogwheel to this. I'm going to go ahead and immediately put this into a rotational speed controller. This thing allows us to change the speed that our cogwheels are moving just from the input, so we can actually crank this up all the way to max speed if we wanted to, without having to do all of the extra cogwheel attachment to the big one, to the small one, anything like that. So let's crank this guy up to 64 RPM for now, and we can get rid of these water wheels. Okay, I think I now have everything hooked up again, so let's get rid of this cogwheel and attach this to the pump. There we go. That cranks up our water quite a bit, but it looks like it can go faster. I'll run it at 128 for now. Hopefully that's not too fast, and we can attach our other machines to this. So yeah, we now have a level 4 boiler generating 65,000 stress units. And just think, this can go even higher with more boilers, more blaze burners, and more steam engines. But this is pretty much just renewable power right here. We don't have to do anything else to keep this running. Now we can take this power and attach it to the mining drill. And then I'll also use the steam engine to power our little workshop here. So we can have all of these blocks here to craft items when we need them. Oh, beautiful. These are running so fast. We're getting some good mixing for andesite. Set up a little washing here. Definitely not because I just ran out of andesite. Now in theory, we should be able to attach our mining drill to this and it should start working. Beautiful. Wow, that takes a lot of stress. That's almost half of what we're working with. Okay, no problem. We will need to attach the drill to this, and then to actually extract the items, we're going to put these into an ender chest. And then if we pop these out with a funnel, they should go straight into this funnel here and then into the ender chest. Then we're going to take the ender chest and have it input into the sifting machine, which we need to build up again real quick. Boom, and that's the multi-block all built up. Let's get these items into the input now, which I don't think should be very complicated. I'm just going to use a little belt for this. And I've just transported our power underneath this little line here. Then we can take the mechanical belt and extract the items from this chest with an andesite funnel, and then have them go into the input with another one. Beautiful. This guy also does require some water, so I'm going to grab another sink. And then we need to get this into the big fluid tank in the back here. So let's just throw the sink back here and then attach some cogwheels to get this pump running. Beautiful. This tank should start flowing up with some water, and this should actually start working once we actually supply the machine with a little power. Oh, beautiful. Okay, wonderful. This is working. I think, yes, the items are coming out here. We just need a way to export them and put them in a chest. Then I've got one more belt coming out of this, which with a couple of funnels and all that copper should just go straight into this chest here, and that is working wonderfully. Look at all that copper we're getting. We're going to use this copper to upgrade the steam engine with more tanks, and we're just gonna it's great. We're gonna have a good time. I would like to get more of these mining drills, specifically to mine things like iron. I'm not sure I will get around to that today though. We automated pretty much everything I wanted to automate. This is going wonderfully, I think. So I actually think that's a pretty good place to leave it for today. Next episode, maybe we'll jump into finishing up this part of the mod pack, automating those other ores so that we have plenty for the future. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.